Well, hello, everybody. I just wanted to say thank you for hopping on. I'm super excited to give you some tips and tricks, 7 steps on how to look and feel your best in just 4 short weeks. All right, for those of you who are here, I have 5 items, and I'm going to show you these 5 items, and I want you to tell me what they all have in common. The first item is a medicine ball. So it's a 10-pound medicine ball. Weight doesn't matter. They didn't like that. And BCAAs, aspirin, baby aspirin, lean protein, and water. So, what do those 5 things have in common? Medicine ball, BCAAs, baby aspirin, lean protein, and water. In the comments, tell me what you think they all have in common. Just take a wild guess. All build muscle. Very good. Thanks, Ozzy. Anybody else want to guess what those things have in common? One more time for those who just joined. We had a medicine ball, lean protein, baby aspirin, water, and BCAAs. Tina says they're all good for our health. Any other guesses? Well, all 5 things are part of what we're going to discuss today. The 7 steps to look and feel your absolute best in just 4 weeks. And some of you are probably wondering, well, how can I really, if I really feel like a dud right now, if I haven't been on point with my nutrition, I haven't been working out, what the hell can I do in just 4 weeks? You can actually do a lot in 4 weeks. And sometimes the more unconditioned that you are, the more of a transformation you can make in those 4 weeks. So let's go ahead and cover those 7 steps. Just so if you stay, a reminder, if you stay until the end today and you provide your email, you'll be in the raffle to win entry in our program that starts July 8th called Hit Me Up. And it's a 4-week transformation challenge. So that will be July 8th to August 5th. We also are allowing some flexibility there in case you have an event that you're trying to get ready for and you want to shift those 4 weeks to align with that event. So step 1 is a 5-day cleanse or fast. So if you join our Hit Me Up program, the first thing we do is a 5-day cleanse or fast, which you choose depends upon your lifestyle, your goals. Everything is personalized. So option 1 is essentially just water. It's a 5-day cleanse or fast. So you would wake up, do 1.5 grams of BCAAs just to make sure you're not using muscle to burn muscle for metabolism, rather your fat storage. 1 to 2 cups of black tea, 32 ounces of water. You can work out, but a little less intensity when you're doing a fast like this. And so you do 3 grams of BCAAs, even if you're going for a walk. Midday, you do an airborne tab and a noon tab. That's just electrolytes paired with a bunch of vitamins and minerals. Bone broth, you can have that throughout the day because that provides you also with electrolytes, potassium, sodium, and 9 grams of protein per cup. And then throughout the day, herbal teas. We also have another option, which is a liquid only. So you'll find tons of cleanses and fasts. People call very strange things fasts. It just depends on the person. If someone is fasting from burgers and fries, then a healthy diet to them is a fast. For us, it means something a little bit different. But we have a liquid only that is actually pretty easy to do. And it includes a collagen latte every morning, a blueberry protein shake later in the day, BCAAs, bone broth, teas. You're allowed celery when you're hungry. And we provide this to all of our folks that do our challenges. And what happens is we just kickstart that metabolism. We kickstart our ability to decrease our cravings. So that sets us up for success for the rest of the month. The benefits of a cleanser fasting are endless. So why would you not try to do it? One, it reduces and in some cases eliminates cravings. So if you're someone who craves carbohydrates all the time, you probably need to do a reset. Increases energy. So a lot of people think, oh, if I don't eat, I'm not going to have enough energy. And that's not necessarily the case at all. When I did my last 5-day cleanse, I had so much more energy, especially on day 3 and 4. By day 5, I was starting to get a little depleted, but then it was time for me to start adding nutrients back in. Reduces inflammation. So if you're someone like me who has a lot of joint issues due to overusage over the decades, cleanse or a fast will help significantly and to just reset those joints, decrease the amount of inflammation in the joint so that you have less pain. You'll lose abdominal bloat. So sometimes we find that we have a lot of bloating throughout the day and we're not really sure what sets it off. So the best thing to do is to do a cleanse and then slowly add foods back in. Maybe slowly first add in dairy and find out if that's the culprit. Maybe slowly add in carbohydrates or gluten. Is that the culprit? Losing subcutaneous water retention. If you don't have cancer and you do a therapeutic fast 1 to 3 times a year, you literally could purge any precancerous cells that live in your body. Now that's a pretty bold statement, but there are many studies out there that support that. And the thing about that is that if you're over 40, cancer is one of the 4 types of diseases that has an 80% chance of causing death. And so that's a pretty bleak statistic, but that's the statistic. So if you can reduce precancerous cells, again, why would you not try to do it? So fasts of 3 days or longer can effectively also reboot your immune system. And right now, when we're dealing with another strain of COVID and people getting a little or predisposing themselves to illness because everybody's congregating again, which is a great thing, but we're exposed a little more, you want that immune system to be fired up. One of the best ways to do that is do a 3 to 5 day cleanse or fast. So that's number 1. Start that month off with a cleanse or fast. Number 2, and you've heard this a million times, but I'm going to give you some facts that you may not know as to the why behind it, but consume a gallon of water daily. Now, there are exceptions to this. I'm one of them. A small percentage of the population do not perspire and get hyponatremia very easily if they consume too much water. But that is a very small percentage of the population. So if I consume too much water, I water down all the nutrients in my body and I become very sick. So I can't drink a ton of water. But that is not typical. So for most of you, drinking as much water as you can get in, hopefully before 7 p.m. so you're not up all night because sleep is also important, is best. The benefits of water, again, innumerous. Cushions the joints, protects your organs and the tissues in your body, normalizes your blood pressure, prevents constipation, aids digestion, flushes out bacteria in the kidneys, carries nutrients to your cells, regulates your temperature, wards off hunger and cravings, and lowers down inflammation. Again, we're hearing inflammation a lot. So these tactics that I'm telling you about right now aren't just feasible for a 4-week dynamic, let's lean out and get ready for this event, but to carry throughout your entire life. These are just great habits to continue to do outside of maybe taking the carbohydrates too low and stuff like that we're going to discuss next. So number 3, eat predominantly lean protein and veggies with some healthy fat. So why low carb? Low carb diets, 1, lead to quick reductions in water retention. So the subcutaneous water that lives underneath the skin and kind of makes you look bloated, keeps us from seeing our hard-earned muscle. A lot of that comes from our carbohydrate intake. Every 1 gram of carbohydrates stores 3 to 4 ounces of fluid in our body. Some of that water is utilized by our organs. The rest of it spills over into our subcutaneous tissue. So I'm going to give an example of a fruit. A fruit has 20 grams of carbohydrates. That means 60 to 80 ounces of water is going to be retained and held on to for a certain amount of time in our body from that one piece of fruit. So think about that for a minute, and that is exactly why when people go on low carb diets that they lose a ton of water weight first. If you instill this into your lifestyle and do a low carb lifestyle where you don't have a lot of starches outside of your vegetables, some occasional rice or oatmeal earlier in the day, and you just stick to a really healthy diet that keeps the carbs low, especially after the age of 50 and 60, then you are going to stay leaner throughout the year without missing any nutrients, because you can load up on vegetables, have your lean protein, incorporate your healthy fats. Low carb also reduces fat in the abdomen and around the organs in the liver. So as we get older, some of you may have noticed this, we tend to store more body fat around the trunk and around our organs, which is the visceral fat, the unhealthy fat. Low carb helps reduce that specific fat significantly. Eating a low carb diet also helps stabilize blood sugar. So if you have diabetes in the family, if you have had issues with glucose tolerance in your lifetime, a low carb diet is probably the best way to go. Other benefits: lowers triglycerides, protects your brain, again, less bloat, regulates your metabolism, and increases energy significantly. Now that kind of is counteractive to what we believe. We believe that carbohydrates are our fuel. And yes, we do use carbohydrates as fuel. But for most of us, if we don't have glycogen readily available, we have plenty of fat storage to use. Protein can also be used for energy. So we don't always need to flood our body with glycogen or more carbohydrates, even pre and post workout, especially as we get older. Now, if we're trying to put on muscle or we're a fast burner, that's a whole different ballgame. Then you're going to need some carbohydrates, because the goal is not to lean down. The goal is to put on mass. So we're talking about a completely different goal there. 4, fasted cardio daily. The main benefit of fasted cardio is increased fat burning. Why? Because throughout the night, of course, we are fasting unless we are somebody who gets up and is a night walker and eats in the middle of the night. Believe me, I've had plenty of clients that happens to. But most of us sleep through the night and we aren't taking in any food. So we are in a fasted state and don't have the glycogen storage to pull from. So when we exercise in that fasted state, we will tend to burn more fat. Essentially, if you haven't eaten, your body will be forced to go to those fat storages. So keep in mind, again, there are always caveats to what I say in these steps, because doing fasted cardio may impede the ability to gain muscle. Most of you aren't here because you're trying to put on a lot of mass or gain muscle. If you are, that's a completely different thing. You cannot typically, there are definitely people who can diet down and still put on muscle, but that is not the norm. The norm is you do one or the other. You need extra calories, an excess of calories to build muscle, and you need to deprive yourself of at least 3,500 calories a week, 500 a day, in order to lose a pound of body fat. So that's where coaches come in, because those numbers are one thing, and how your body's metabolism works are, completely different stories. So you really have to figure out how your individual body and biochemistry work. Number 5, intermittent fasting. So I find intermittent fasting an interesting subject, because ultimately the majority of us have done intermittent fasting our entire life because we don't eat while we're sleeping. And that's what an intermittent fast is. It's just a period of time during the day that we do not eat. Our Hit Me Up folks will be doing a very simple 12-hour intermittent fast. So that means if they have their last meal ends at 8 p.m., then they wouldn't have breakfast until 8 a.m. the next day. That just gives your body significant time to digest and to kind of reset. Some people literally fast for 20 hours a day. I won't get into the pros and cons of those longer intermittent fasting intervals. They definitely have pros and they definitely have cons. And typically, unless you do have some sort of illness, it's usually not suggested, especially for athletes. Number 6, do HIIT training. And I've had a lot of people who have a huge misunderstanding of what HIIT training is. It's short bursts of intense exercise alternated with low intensity recovery. Tabata is an example. Usually 10 to 30 minutes of this type of exercise is plenty. You need at least 24 hours in between each HIIT workout, and it's suggested to not do it every day, to possibly do it every other day. So anywhere from 2 to 4 HIIT workouts a week is significant, with strength training routines in between. So an example of a HIIT exercises that you can use: sprinting, cycling, jump rope, battle rope, and body weight exercises. I have workouts, virtual workouts, Mondays, Tuesdays, Fridays. We always do HIIT training for our warm-up, quote unquote. An example of what we would do for our warm-up would be 20 to 30 seconds of the intense exercise with 10 seconds off to transition to the next thing. We do jumping jacks, push-up taps, squat hops, and tuck-ups. Something like that would be one round, and then you would recover and you would go into the next round. The idea is all out, meaning you're working both aerobically and anaerobically. The benefits of HIIT: 1, you burn a lot of calories in a short amount of time. Metabolic rate is also higher after HIIT. Studies show that HIIT could shift the body's metabolism from using carbs for energy to using fat. That you're typically, not going to find with longer bouts of cardio. HIIT can help you lose fat with a smaller time commitment because you don't have to do it as long. You may actually be able to gain muscle using HIIT, but that's typically in people who are less active to begin with. Those of you who are already active and killing it in the gym, using HIIT is not gonna put on muscle for you. You use your strength training for that, but you have all the other benefits of increased metabolism, working anaerobically and aerobically, improving oxygen consumption, which includes the ability of your muscle to utilize oxygen. HIIT can reduce heart rate and blood pressure, blood sugar, and improves overall athletic performance. So that was a lot of benefits of HIIT training. So it's great to incorporate into your workouts. And if you're a busy mom or dad, if you have a business that you're trying to run, or your career is super demanding and you find that you're having a lot of trouble getting to the gym or getting those workouts in, then doing HIIT sessions might be the answer for you. And we have last but not least, number 7 is the ECA stack. So what is the ECA stack? There are so many supplements out there that tout being, a metabolic booster, a fat burner, and ultimately the best one I have ever found is the ECA stack. It's ephedra E, caffeine C, and baby aspirin A. Ephedra can be many forms. I use Broncaid because it's readily available. Caffeine, I use coffee. You can also take a caffeine pill. And baby aspirin is 88 milligrams of baby aspirin. So when you take these 3 components together, it promotes weight loss and boosts athletic performance. How does it do this? It stimulates your central nervous system with norepinephrine. Norepinephrine gets your body ready for action and activity. Caffeine is also a central nervous system stimulant, which can, as you know, most of you are coffee drinkers, it can increase feelings of alertness and therefore reduces fatigue. And then aspirin is a pain reliever. When taken as part of the ECA stack, it prevents norepinephrine levels from decreasing. So it maintains the stimulation effects of caffeine and ephedra over time. Does it work? Absolutely works. In our review of 20 trials, each and every one of them found epinephrine to be an effective tool for weight loss. So yes, it does work. Studies also show that short-term effects within 1 to 2 hours of taking the ECA stack affects your athletic performance in positive ways. Long-term has yet to be studied, but I have found that many hours later, I still have a feeling, like an enhanced feeling of energy and mood that helps my workouts. So how do you get it? Very easy. In 2004, the FDA banned the sale of ephedra-containing dietary supplements. So you will not see ephedra on the shelves anymore in your vitamin shop or your GNC, but you can get it over the counter at your local pharmacy. You just have to show your ID. You have to show your ID because it can cause insomnia, increased heart rate, elevated blood pressure, tremors, anxiety, that type of thing that any stimulant will do. Sudafed, typically the same thing. So you just have to, it is just a controlled substance now. The best thing about it is that if you go to GNC or Vitamin Shop or your local, supplement store, you will end up spending upwards between $50 and $100 on a stimulant that has not even as strong as an effect or is even as safe as the ECA stack. So $6 to $8 will buy a box of Broncaid. And then you have your coffee and your baby aspirin and you're set. ECA stack has gotten a bad rap because people were misusing it. So that, again, is why it's controlled now. But it has not been shown to cause nausea, vomiting, anxiety, hyperactivity, and toxicity, things like that. So I'm going to review the 7 steps that I just went over, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. So and again, this is to really make a difference in 4 weeks, but if you follow these 7 steps for 4 weeks, that will carry over. You're going to see such great results that a lot of these habits will be habits that you're going to want to carry on through a lifetime. So 1 is a 5-day cleanse or fast, which is amazing to do about 3 times a year. 2 is to consume a gallon of water daily. 3 is to eat predominantly lean meats, veggies, and healthy fats. 4 is to do fasted cardio daily. 5 is intermittent fasting. We do a 12 and 12 when we're really trying to lean out and get ready for an event. 6 is to incorporate HIIT training into your workouts. And 7 is to utilize the ECAA stack and utilize it safely. When you join any of our programs, but especially the one that's coming up, we guide you on how to safely use the ECA stack so that you don't build a tolerance to it. It's not addictive, and it's not anything that has health ramifications unless you have anxiety disorder or high blood pressure. It can tend to constrict the blood vessels. Therefore, if you're somebody who has very high blood pressure that is untreated, it could increase your blood pressure. So those are the 7 ways for you to look and feel your best in just 4 weeks. I have seen people go down 3 dress sizes, several inches in their waist, just by picking up these habits in a few weeks. So I'd love to take comments right now. We did HIIT today. Yes, Oz, Jasmine. We did HIIT today, and it was killer. I mean, we had a good time. My version of a good time. Burned a lot of calories, and I feel like $1,000,000. Broncaid, you can get it at any pharmacy. You just ask them. What I do is I go to my pharmacy. I ask for Broncaid pills. They come in a box. They are bronchial dilators, so they Broncaid opens up your airways. For me, I do have a little anxiety, and it is the only stimulant that I have found that I can take that does not increase my anxiety level. It balances my mood when I'm dieting, gives me additional energy. For me, and for many of my clients, especially competitors who really have to cut weight hard, it is just amazing. It gets us through and allows us to be human when we feel otherwise. The video will be available tomorrow, so no problem there. If you were here for the entire time today, if you're here at all, leave your email. If you were here for the entire time, then you will be put in the raffle for a free entrance into Hit Me Up. So it's $199 value. And Hit Me Up is exactly this. It's a 4-week transformation challenge where we take you through the 7 steps, but we also provide a personalized nutrition plan, a personalized workout. You get a fitness app, so everything's at your fingertips. And we take you through the entire 7 steps. We guide you through the ECA stack. We give you what fasted cardio to do based on what you have available to you and what your timeline is like. You can start it anytime. So we're running it July 8th to August 4th, but say you have an event August 1st and you want to start it July, like 4 weeks before that, you can do that. If you go ahead and join today and you win the raffle, then we just refund you your money. So in the chat, I'm going to put how to sign up. That is the link. I just put the link in the comments. So if you go to that link, I'm going to go there now. You can, the page will come up and you will be able to enroll for that exact program. So again, it's $199 and it starts July 8th. It goes through August 5th. Any questions about the program that we're running? And why are we doing it? We're doing that program because the biggest question I get is when people really procrastinate, when they have a big event like a reunion, a wedding, something like that, a vacation, and they kind of procrastinate the inevitable and they don't feel their best and they're holding on to weight and they want a way to feel and look their best quickly. So that is why we are doing this program. It's a tactic that you'll be able to carry with you for a lifetime. So Carol from South Africa is my wing woman today. She's going to be getting all of your emails. We're going to be doing the raffle this evening, and I will, in the morning, I will be posting on Facebook the winner of the 4-week transformation challenge. So if you don't have any more questions, I will look forward to touching base with all of you. I'll send each and every one of you within the next 24 hours the notes from today, and you'll be able to ask any questions, schedule a strategy session if you just want some ideas on how to get to your next goal. All right, have a great evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.